You know, it's delicious. Root beer floats. Like, who doesn't love a good root beer float? When I grew up, we called root beer floats black cows. And then someone told me a black cow was Coke and milk. Like, what kind of travesty is that? Root beer and vanilla ice cream. That's a black cow, man. Anyway. I've always wanted to do a book review one. Like, I don't know where to start because there's just so many ideas in my head of what I want to talk about and what books I want to talk about, and do I want to focus on nonfiction books or self-help books or fiction books or books that I've read when I was a teenager or books I've read when I'm an adult or books that I've read multiple times or books I've read once. Since this is Valentine's week, even though this video is probably going to come out afterwards, I am doing a book on love. I'm going to do The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I think it is a wonderful book. It is in the self-help category, but I think everyone can read it. I think it has excellent life advice, whether you are in a relationship, whether you are single, whether you are looking for love, whether you have given up on love. Good interpersonal communication book. I read this a long time ago, probably like 2005 or 2007 the first time. I got it from the recommendation from my cousin, and she was reading it, in her own life, and so I read it, and it basically talks about how people express love in different ways. I thought it explained, in an easy to understand way, how people miscommunicate with each other in a relationship. Obviously, this is only one theory in psychology, there's many, but this one kind of says that you have a way that makes you feel loved based on, your background or your nature, nurture, all that jazz. And other people have different ways. For one person it might be quality time, but for another person it might be receiving gifts. So if someone's buying you gifts all the time, that's their love language, and they're like, this would make me happy, so this should make you happy. But what you really want is to spend time with them, so it's disjointed. And as you guys both know, like, hey, this is my love language and this is your love language, then you can translate and speak to them in their love language, and they can speak to you in yours, and everyone's happy and loved. It's a really interesting read. I like psychology, so I liked it. The doctor is, it is from like the Christian self-help section. However, I didn't feel that religion or turning to God was heavily pushed on me in the book. I think these could be applied in any secular environment. If you guys want to take the love languages quiz online, you can find out without even reading the book what your love language is. You go to 5, like the number 5, 5lovelanguages.com. There shall be the URL here, I assume. Pause it here, come back, see what my results are. I'm going to assume at this point you have taken the test. So my test results are... My love language, oh, that's very shaky. My love language is quality time. That is my number 1 love language. My second love language is words of affirmation, then receiving gifts, acts of service, and then physical touch is my last love language. Just to explain this a little bit more, I want to get into a little bit of depth on what each of the love languages is, just because I think it's really interesting and I like the concept. So I just want to, in my own words, kind of explain what each of these mean to me. Quality time is my primary love language, and it's the one that I value the most. Quality time, a lot of people think, is very simple. I sit on the couch with you, we watch a movie, we're spending quality time together. And that is not exactly quality time. Quality time is you focused on me. You carved out this time special for me, and you are focusing on me, and that's quality time. One of my favorite quality time activities, the way I know that I'm loved, is my mom often calls just to check on me and see how I'm doing, and we talk, for 45 minutes or an hour or whatnot, and sometimes it's about nothing, or sometimes it doesn't start out with anything, but I can just talk to her about my day or what's going on, even if I didn't plan to tell her anything, or I wasn't going to call her with the intention of telling her anything. Just that she carved out that time and sat there with the intention to listen allows me to like open up, because it's focused on me. It's undivided attention. I know she's there because she cares. That's how quality time is shown as a love language. So my other top love language is words of affirmation. It's usually tied with quality time, or like right below quality time. I really like being told I'm doing a good job. I want to know I'm doing a good job. I want to know why I'm doing a good job, how I'm doing a good job. Just tell me I'm doing good. I love it. Love it. So, and if you tell me I'm doing a bad job, or imply that perhaps a job could have been done better that I was involved in, I take that shit super personally. Like, oh, it's so hard to like, yeah, that's, it makes me sad to even think about it, because like, yes, as one of my love languages, insults are also an act of war against me. It has to be sincere though. Like, I think that's why you can't just say like, you're doing a great job. Why I like to hear the reasoning behind it, because it shows the thought. Like, it's not an off-the-cuff thing. I think the reason that words of affirmation is my second love language and quality time is my first love language is because I really like doing shit with people. I do not like being alone. I do not like doing things alone. I think things are always better with friends. But yeah, I think quality time is my number one, because I really like being around people and doing things with people. And I love my friends, so I like being around my friends. And I speak my love language with my friends, which is quality time. Maybe their love language isn't quality time, and they're like, yo, Ribbon, you gotta go home now, man. Everyone always like judges people whose love language is receiving gifts harshly. And I don't like it, because when I was younger, receiving gifts was my primary love language. Even if receiving gifts is my third love language, come on, guys, don't receive gift shame. Don't gift shame. Don't like, come on, guys, just love. They even point out on here, like, receiving gifts isn't a gold digger or like materialistic mentality. If receiving gifts is your love language, what you like more is the whole like the thought that people put into it, that someone cared enough about you to know your likes and dislikes and pick out the perfect present for you. That's why I like buying gifts for people, because receiving gifts is one of my love languages, so I speak it. And God, I love buying gifts for people. I love learning someone's personality, learning things about them, seeing, you know, a little trinket in a shop that might only be $1, but giving it to them and seeing the smile on their face because I thought of them and I bought this little thing for them. Receiving a gift like that from your friend, even if it's the cheap trinket out of a gumball machine, but just that it shows that your friend thought of you or your loved one thought of you throughout the day. That's how you know receiving gifts is your love language. Acts of service. I think, all right, here's the bottom line with acts of service. Nobody's gonna do as good of a job as me, okay? So it's that again, not an act of love, it's an act of war. The way you're doing those chores or whatever you're doing for me. And with your lower love languages, you just might have to work harder to speak them. Like, it's never my first, thought to offer my services to people, like, hey, can I do that for you, or can I help you with this? Because I assume if someone needs help, they will ask for it, because that's what I do. If I need your help, I will ask for it. So that's what I assume other people do. But acts of service, people whose love languages are acts of service, appreciate unasked for help, or when you just jump in, when you can see that they're overwhelmed and you take some of the burden off them, they really appreciate that. So if you are looking to speak acts of service to someone whose love language that is, that's what you need to do. You need to kind of watch and see where they're overburdened, where they're overwhelmed, where you can help out and jump in without them having to tell you every little step and every little necessity. So physical touch. I wonder how many of you are surprised to see this at the bottom of my list. I wonder how many of you are not surprised to see this at the bottom of my list. That's an interesting discussion for later. Yeah, physical touch is not my primary love language. It is my least favorite love language, and it is also the one I have the hardest trouble speaking, because I don't know. I'm not comfortable with it, obviously. First of all, let's talk about physical touch. It's more than just sex. It includes casual physical touch. Like you're out in public, you're holding hands, you have your arms around each other, or you're, sitting on the couch, snuggled up with each other. If you're a touchy-feely person, your love language is probably physical touch. I am not a touchy-feely person. So 1, it is not my love language, and 2, I have a hard time speaking it because if I am not comfortable being touched, I assume you're not comfortable being touched. Physical touch, though, that's a love language. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to go in on how to make this one work. If you are with someone or if you are a person who likes physical touch, I think just remember that it can be non-sexual too, and that is very important. You can't just assume that because you're having sex, the physical touch part of your relationship is met. There are parts like back rubs, massages, like I said, holding hands in public, kissing them when you get home from work, giving them a hug before you leave, all those types of touchings is very important and shows truly that you are speaking their love language, and it will make them feel loved. That is how you portray the physical touch love language effectively. More importantly than me, what did you guys think of your own results? Were you surprised by your own results? Did you expect them? When you were taking the test, were you thinking of someone else in your life that the questions could apply to too? Have you started to maybe apply love languages to different people in your life now? I can definitely look at my close friends and family now and know whose love language is whose, or have an idea of whose love language is whose. And it helps me. I think it helps me connect with them on a better level. That's one of the reasons I was really happy that I found this book. I think it's helped me a lot over the years, and I've recommended it to so many people. I recommend it. You guys definitely check it out.